There is a species amongst us, rare and peculiar. They're called techies, of the tech crew. I was granted permission to go on an expedition to their home, a place known as the Shop, in order to learn about their strange ways. How did they come to be there? What did they do? And why? I came to understand that they worked in seasons, and spring means musical, specifically the Susical. But what exactly did they do here? I managed to sit a few of them down, and with a fair deal of struggle...
Take them off.
Is that good enough?
Do you hear this in your microphone?
I got some answers.
We use saws and drills, and we cut pieces of wood, and we also paint. So everything you see on the stage was built by us.
In tech, we build the sets for plays, musicals, whatever we are doing at that point in time. We're trained for sound and lights, rigging backstage, and we work on all of those together, and by the end of it we come together with the actors as one cohesive piece.
You build sets for musical and theater here at Wabanzi, and you get to drill, make friends, and socialize with people.
It depends on how far we are into the production. At the beginning it was more just building things, but now I'm doing spotlight, so I'm like putting the light on the people.
I mostly do props for tech crew, which is getting all the little tiny things like bottles or like pencils and putting them around the set and making sure everything's in place.
I am the quote-unquote head sound engineer, which means I run all the sound equipment.
I become sort of the father figure for everyone, so everyone looks up to me if they have a problem, or if they ever need a screw to be put into a little bit more or taken out or something. Anyone has a problem, they usually come to me for brute force.
For reasons unbeknownst to me, they truly seemed to enjoy this thing that they did.
My favorite thing is probably being around people and being able to work with so many different people and experiencing everyone together and knowing their different ideas and perspectives on life and different projects that we come to.
I think my favorite thing is getting to say I'm a part of such an amazing production, and being a part of the shows is amazing.
My favorite thing about tech is probably the people. It's just like good atmosphere and happiness all around.
Some of the best things in tech is when you're working really hard on like a set piece or on a show in general, and then you hear all these great compliments from people, and even small ones too, like, oh yeah, that was a good job, yeah, cool, and it just makes you feel good.
Best things probably either seeing your set be put up and painted and having it dry in front of you, and it's solid. I think that's probably the best feeling. Either that or taking it down, just screaming at everything. You scream at every screw, every platform that you don't care about, just break it and just run away.
But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
My least favorite thing is probably the fights that we'll have because we're a family and we're so close and we're constantly around each other. That'll become a problem at times, but we always work through it.
My least favorite part would probably be that we're a little unorganized, and it's a lot of time commitment, but overall I think it's definitely worth it, and I've learned a lot of things from tech.
My least favorite thing about tech is probably the amount of physical labor that I have to do. I mean, I have gained muscle from it, but...
Bad things, we tend to argue a lot sometimes about just little finicky stuff, and like one thing leads to another, and we kind of hate each other for a little bit, but we always circle back around and be friends again.
Worst thing, stubborn people, I guess, like screws. They're really hard to work with sometimes.
And my least favorite thing is drilling, because I'm really bad at it. Like, it seems like a really basic thing that I learned on my first day, but I'm still not good.
Sometimes, I've found, they did not have all that they needed to complete their work, requiring them to improvise. One such improvisation necessitated an outside excursion, which I was permitted to accompany. The excursion was facilitated by a strange, somewhat sinister character, both a part and not a part of the crew.
I do more for tech than 90% of the people teching this show.
So why, with all these difficulties, do these people bother?
Man. Well, I have nothing better to do, I think. I think no, don't use that, please.
Well, someone needs to build the sets, and it's actually really enjoyable. You learn a lot with like teamwork and working, like cooperating with people and like time management, and yeah, it's a fun club.
I do this because I feel like theater is my family, and I found my little home in Waubonsee, and this is where I'm most comfortable. So I do it because I love everybody around me.
I think one of the main reasons I do tech is probably because it's a good atmosphere to be in. Like, the people around are really friendly and really nice, and like I've been here since my freshman year, and like you get to know people like in a way that you wouldn't just by having classes with them. And it's really good experience.
I do tech because it's just a fun place to be. I've made a lot of friendships here, a lot of good memories, and it's just been a great part of my life.
I do it because I really like theater, and it's just something that I've been like able to connect to, and I like all the people in it. Like, it's just somewhere where I fit in a lot.
I love it. I love it so much. Look, Kiki. But yeah, I like especially the show nights. Those are the best nights for me. Like, after all the stress, because it gets rough for like tech week and production week, when we have like our moments before the show, it's very much worth it.
But what's the point of it all? What do they now know that they did not know previously?
I've learned light, sound, and building, of course, but to me, I've learned more about myself, how to work with people, different perspectives in life, and how to overcome many challenges that we face throughout theater.
What have I learned? Oh wow, so much. I've learned how to use a drill properly. I've learned how to make things safe and secure so that people won't fall. You have to make sure that everything's in its place, and everything has a place, and it's got to be there at a certain time. Just a lot of like, not many life lessons, but a lot of like practical skills.
Teamwork is important. Teamwork is extremely important. It's necessary for every aspect in life. I mean, being a ROTC hopeful, it's really taught me to work with the people I'm given. So I need to work with this person's strengths versus this person's weaknesses, and they can work together on a certain thing. Some people are better at building, some people are better at painting. I need to use that as the leader in charge. Of course, I'm not truly. It's just a term, I guess, because everyone comes to me for help.
I can build a house now. Like, I am solid. I am sure an establishment can be built, and I have a new family, and it's great. And I've known these people for so long. It's always hard when a show passes, because you're always going to have different people in a show, and so it becomes a little bit difficult because you form a bond with these people for like ever, and it's great, and I love it.
These techies can be aggressive, debatably unbalanced, affectionate to the extreme, and often obscene. But they are hard-working, strange, and wondrous people who eventually did me the honor of accepting me as one of their own. Although I do not understand them, and in fact I believe no one ever will, I find them to be a marvelous group of people, and I would not trade them for anything.
Warrior update. And now a word from our sponsors.
The Waubonsee Valley Tech Company.
Give us all labels.
Golden Sea, bitches. It's the best.
Pre-drilling is safe, though. Pre-drilling, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, pre-drilling equals safety. Safety equals lives saved. Lives saved equals overpopulation. Forget pre-drilling. Just saw it all. Just burn it all. This interview's over. We're done. We're done here.
Woo! Okay.